Hello and welcome to Lost in Chronologically Lost, episode 32, where this time we get the weirdest chronological order in the entire series.
And I know, of course, you're referring to how Locke told Desmond about the Pearl and he remembered his things there, and those should have been a split screen while we saw them exploring the Pearl.
That's not at all what I'm talking about, but yeah.
Anyway, so my big thing these episodes is that I was wrong. Totally wrong. Because I thought that we would see Jack do the surgery at the end of season 2, and this was a mistake on my part. Because I generally think as a season finale, what big thing can you happen at the season finale? What culmination to the character arcs? But after the end of season 1, I should have known the way the Lost writers think is what big cliffhanger can we end on?
Exactly. And, you can't have a finale without some kind of explosion. I mean,
Yeah.
you've now seen...
That's
you've now
why we
seen,
watch TV.
Well, you've now seen you've seen half of the finales. You've seen the season 5 finale where they throw a nuclear bomb core into a thing. The season 1 finale where they blow open the hatch. And then now the season 2 finale where the hatch gets obliterated.
So, wow, they really power crept their explosions by season 5.
Oh, just wait till you see season 6's. Granted, season 6's isn't as cool as it could be, because like I've mentioned before, they wanted to have the volcano exploding, but they didn't have the budget.
Yeah. What a shame.
Right. So I'll just ask you straight out, because you did technically see some flashbacks, but I'll explain that weird flashback thing when we get there. But
I mean, I think it made sense.
yeah, overall, what do you think the flashbacks were for this?
So the first one, it just seems like we got Desmond. We got the whole explanation of, there were a lot of Desmond scenes throughout his flashbacks that were kind of mixed together. So I think some of it might have been like grab bags of those. Like I think we probably saw him leaving the military since we had the Charles Dickens book, but we probably didn't see like the part of the military where his mind was going back and forth. But I think we covered the general points. I think it would have had him as a monk because he had that reaction to Echo being a priest. Okay, I guess not.
No,
I thought maybe that was a connection, but
it is. It is a connection, but they didn't show it.
Yeah, that comes up later, I guess. But so meeting Penny, and
it was
him. I think him telling her goodbye as he's gonna go on the boat trip. Maybe him talking to Widmore when he leaves prison. Yeah, that's right, after the book thing.
Yep.
So, I mean, stuff that we pretty soon after see the explanation for.
Yeah, that's all right. We also saw him get the boat from Libby in that coffee shop where he bumps into her. And we also saw everything with him crashing onto the island and being in the hatch with Mr. Krabs. We saw everything up to the split screen of Locke pounding on the door. It went all the way up to there.
Right. Yeah, of course we got all that, because that's when we finally get our explanations. That's when we find out about the take your finger out of the dam.
Yes. So, where this episode actually begins is, everyone excited by seeing this boat just show up.
Also, wait, is there... So, how many episodes did we cover? Is that it? Or, is there another one that had a different flashback in between this and the final episode?
No, it was a 2-parter finale, and all the flashbacks were of Desmond.
Alright, I see.
And the other flashback that we saw is a weird thing that I'll explain.
Yeah. Alright, so where we begin is they see Desmond, they're freaking out because they don't know that it's just him. They think they might be rescued because the characters and the original viewers don't know that Desmond has a boat, but I know he has a boat.
Yes. And so they find Desmond, and he says he tried to leave, but he couldn't. And he says he thinks that's because there's nothing else left in the world. It's just this island.
I think he's just bad at sailing.
So the thing of there being nothing left in the world, it was actually a fan theory that the island was all that's left.
I'm sure. I was thinking about that. I think these episodes had so much bait for some of like the bad fan theories, you know.
But of course, it it's not true by the end, because
I mean,
the end of this episode,
it all worked.
You see the people in, what is it, Antarctica or the North Pole or somewhere.
Yeah. So I think that's probably like the first time we see that there's still stuff out there.
It is the first time you see a non-flashback, non-island scene.
That is like a nice thing to end a season on.
Yeah. Saeed is like, okay, great, we have a boat. Let's use this to counter the obvious trap Michael's leading us into.
Yeah, I really like just the kind of side stuff we've been getting, that he's thinking of these plans, and it's kind of cool that Michael didn't even realize they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond is very drunk, and he's also like, you're still pushing the button, and Jack is just like, yeah, we're still pushing it, because it's all a game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Locke shows up to the computer, and he's like, hey, no, we're going to let the timer run out. We're going to stop doing this. And, of course, so Echo, of course, says to him, do not tell me what I can't do.
Yeah. And, I mean, they fight, and, like, Locke is a badass, but Echo has his youth. So, also, Locke says, we're all puppets on strings, so he's basically Ultron. Or is, like, he's the puppet, so then who's Ultron? Because Ultron says everyone else is puppets. Maybe Ben is Ultron.
Well,
alright, I'm gonna stop going down
I
that.
was gonna say, even Ben has to report to, Richard Alpert and Jacob and everything, so...
Kate points out that the costumes imply that the others just want them to think they're hillbillies, so Michael is immediately like, shut the fuck up.
To be fair, all Michael did see was that they were hillbillies, like...
Yeah,
granted, they did take his blood, and it's like, what are they gonna do with that blood? They have to have somewhere to test it,
Yeah, but he doesn't want them to, just suspect anything isn't as it seems. Isn't as he's told them.
Yeah. So Saeed is gonna take, Desmond's boat, and Sun and Jin, are gonna join in, so I've heard this boat, be dubbed the minority boat.
Oh, see, that's not what I was thinking. See, okay, first of all, Desmond is all like, oh, ignorance is bliss about stuff with the others. And, second of all, it's very nice that Sun is going to join because, they need to translate between Saeed and Jin, and she knows how to sail too. But finally, this is Saeed, Jin, and Sun. They're all great. So for the rest of my notes, I've referred to them as the A team, while Jack and everyone, they're the B team.
Even though, by plot-wise, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, but in terms of competence and how cool they are, this is the A team.
I feel like, they're the A team because they would actually shoot someone and be successful with it.
Well, I mean, the B team did shoot someone.
Well, that's true. So, I guess
anyway,
the B team is going...
Sawyer sees a doll, and Kate explains it's a trap, and he finally finds out what the net meant.
Yeah, not a euphemism. Then we get a weird bird. This bird also showed up in the season 1 finale, but it's more clear here.
It did?
Well,
it says... They think it says Hurley. I think that's bullshit.
The subtitles do say it says Hurley.
Yeah, I saw that.
But the subtitle's also called Ben Henry, so...
So then... Michael's gun is empty, and... I mean, why was he even trying to shoot it? That's really unnecessary. I
mean... The bird is just the weirdest fucking thing. There is an explanation for it, but it's so fucking stupid.
Oh, I'm sure. Anyway, Jack just like, oh, I forgot to load that gun. And, yeah. It definitely is increasing the tension for Michael. We get Charlie seeing Locke, and now he's being the one comforting Locke in a point of weakness, and he tells Locke that Desmond is there. I was almost thinking that, like, Locke has always tried to support Charlie, except when he abandoned him. But, like, maybe we get a reversal now, where, like, Charlie is helping Locke. But it was basically just a scene to tell Locke to go talk to Desmond.
Yeah. So, Saeed has a whole scene where he's like, oh, I don't want Sun on the boat, because... women,
Yeah, but she makes the point as to why she should come, and he accepts it because he's not Jack.
Yeah. Then Desmond has some weird thing where he talks to Claire about Aaron's father, which is just like,
Well, he also tells her the vaccine is bullshit.
That's true. That is important. But it's also like, why are we bringing up this irrelevant character like this?
I think, well, first of all, it ties into Desmond because that guy was flaky. Desmond is flaky. Second of all, it just is bringing up the general idea of, like, Claire being with somebody to put that in our heads so that then we could have the nice ending where she kisses Charlie.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and we finally get the answer to what did one snowman say to the other?
Oh yeah, smells like carrots. Good joke. Good joke.
Yeah. So Locke tells Desmond everything he found at the Pearl, and so they decide we're gonna stop this button from being pushed.
I mean, Desmond's like, then stop pushing it. It's like someone else started. But anyway, back at the B team, Sawyer offers Hurley some food, and Hurley's actually not hungry. And we see Jack going to talk to Michael, and just, they don't really say anything significant here.
Yeah. Someone with the A team, we have Sun having some morning sickness.
Yeah, I was like, really? You said you could sail and you have seasickness? And then they reminded me it was not that. I really wanted to forget she was pregnant.
No, trust me, it's a good storyline. Anyway, they also, as they're sailing, they see the broken statue of Taweret.
Okay, so, like, can I just, like, bet money that this doesn't matter?
You've already seen the answer to all of this.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
Yeah, Jacob lives there, and it was destroyed by Richard Albert's ship, the Black Rock, which we already know.
Wait, so they could just, like, get off there and find Jacob?
You're kind of not allowed in. You.
Well, who's not going to stop you?
You have to be welcomed in.
But by who?
Well, with the others, it would be Richard who would take you. I mean, I guess they could, but I think he would just go somewhere. Jacob would just go somewhere else. He wouldn't talk to them.
Yeah. Jacob has the, like... No, what am I saying? The statue has 4 toes, and they're acting like that's, like, really spooky.
It would be spooky if it was a human statue, but it was a statue of a deity that has 4 toes, because...
Well, why would it be spooky if it's a human statue? Just like, oh... Like, it means someone built it with 4 toes. That doesn't matter.
I've seen some theories that were like, oh, the island is where humanity originated, and it has 4 toes because that's what humans used to have, or something like that. But no,
doesn't matter. Anyway, Desmond cuts the power. He does the thing to trigger a fake lockdown, which I think his flashback was in part here to explain that he knew how to trigger a fake lockdown.
Well, before that, just to think, this might be a small scene, but trust me, it will become annoyingly important later. To just note is Echo is carving some Bible verses onto his, whacking stick.
Oh, I do not care about what Bible verses those are.
Oh, but don't worry. It's not the Bible verses themselves that are important, but that he's carving them on there, it'll be important, trust me.
I don't even know if Echo lives.
Everyone left the hatch except for Desmond when he turned the thing.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, they got out of there, except for Desmond.
But anyway, yeah. So they pretty much gooned Echo there hard. They trapped him out. He tried to stick his staff in there to jam the thing open, but Locke grabs it.
Yeah.
And Desmond, as I said before, he expresses like, wow, we locked a priest out. And I was so worried that that would make him want to let Echo in, but that would be silly.
Well, it's like he said, he spent 3 years... like he told Jack at the beginning of the season, 3 years he spent every day wondering if this was just some weird game, and to find out that it is, he wants to break the board, so to speak.
Echo climbs out the top of the hatch, and he sees the thing that says quarantine on it, and I was so worried that this was gonna make him think like, oh shit, something is quarantined here. That means the button is really important. When I know that there's no quarantine, it doesn't matter. But no, it was just him figuring out that explosives were used.
Yes. And it was to remind people that this door exists so that when the hatch blows up, it can land on the beach and be dramatic.
Yeah.
So, he gets Charlie to get him some dynamite.
Yeah. Charlie begrudgingly helping him.
The B team sees some others and shoots at them. And Sawyer kills one of them, but the other one gets away.
They get one. Well, I just like that Kate had actually noticed they were being followed. That was pretty sick.
Yeah. So this is where Jack is like, okay, yeah, Michael, we know you're up to shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he just grabs and screams at him, and Michael's like, it was the only way. I don't know about that one, but yeah. And Kate figures out he let Henry go. Hurley figures out that he killed Ana Lucia and Libby.
Yeah.
Hurley should have beat his ass.
Yeah, and he was even like, Libby was an accident. I didn't mean to, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, if you had time to prepare, would you have done it differently? And he's like, it's like, Michael, you really should have thought this through.
Hurley, take that sadness and turn it into rage.
Yeah, so then Jack starts yelling that he's like, don't worry, I have a plan. But because...
Yeah. Because, I mean, it was a decent plan, but I think this whole chain of events makes sense. Because the plan was good, but it's also, like, very believable that he wouldn't have considered Michael might not be taking them to the beach, and that, like, countered his plan. I think that all fits together nicely.
Yeah. So the A-team, they find the weird rock hole thing.
Yeah. It looks like Stonehenge because they gotta put in random things like that don't matter.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I'm like, that's just a weird natural formation.
No, I thought it was it's like Stonehenge. Well, maybe I was wrong.
Oh, I mean, that's maybe I never saw that theory, but that could have been something. I
mean, I don't think it's significant.
It won't be significant in any way. It's just the shape of a rock. Like,
yeah. It's not actually significant. I just thought it might be one of the things they put in to pretend to be significant.
Huh. Anyway, so Echo and Charlie, they get the dynamite, but Desmond's like, nah, we'll be fine. The blast doors are thick.
Yeah. And I mean, they look pretty thick. I mean, Desmond says he would take an atom bomb, and I think he might not be wrong. Like, they're thick metal, yeah. Charlie is thinking maybe this is nothing, and the magnetism happens. And yeah, there's this whole electromagnetism thing. It's real. But in real life, all that would mean is that there's a big magnet.
But that doesn't...
It's not... It's silly.
I guess, but it does mean that it's not just some, joke. There is something there that they're doing.
Echo basically says, open the door and I will forgive you, where the implication is, don't open the door and I'll blow you up. That is Catholicism.
Although before that, my favorite line in this set of episodes is Charlie going, Locke, okay, Echo is very upset. You need to just, I don't know, the way he says it, and just describing gonna blow it open with dynamite as being upset.
Yeah, I was like, dude, just say he's gonna blow it up.
Yeah, so they blow it up, but Charlie's fine, Echo's fine, Locke and Desmond are fine.
I mean, they're injured at first, but it doesn't really
But it's Lost injured, so they'll be fine by the next episode.
Yeah. And then Desmond brings up maybe Locke, wants to look down the barrel of the gun and find out what he really believes. And Locke's like, I did that. I thought this was my destiny. I got Boone killed, and the light came out.
Well, to be fair, what he says is he got Boone killed for nothing. He was fine with Boone being dead when he thought it was for some grander purpose, but not anymore.
Yeah, Locke, certified Locke moment. Yeah. And he's like, it was probably just he going to the bathroom.
Yeah, so then the A-team...
Going to the bathroom at the bottom of the ladder.
The A-team gets to the fake village, and it's all deserted, and turns out the door is nothing.
It's not even a real Dharma hatch, which I think... Like, I already know it's fake, but I think that's really what's supposed to tell the non-chronological viewers that, like...
Yeah, I mean, there obviously were hints because the map didn't have a door on it. The map had all the other stations, but not that.
Nobody's there... Because they only put people there when they expect someone. And they don't expect anyone right now, so, like, there's no reason for anyone to be there. Like, I was worried Saeed would investigate but get caught. But instead, there's just nothing.
Right. Then the A-team, they find the huge stash of pneumatic tubes from the Pearl station, which shows that it was actually the Pearl that was the psychological experiment.
Wait, it does?
Well, yeah.
I didn't gather that.
Because
the Pearl...
The point of the Pearl, they're like, okay, they tell the people in the Pearl, okay, the people in the Swan are in a psychological experiment, so we need you to write down everything that they're doing. But it's actually the the Pearl that's a psychological experiment, because all those things that they're writing down, they're just seeing if they would do it. They're not sending them to anyone. They're sending them just to the middle of the jungle.
Oh, see, I just thought that something broke.
No, that's how it was designed.
So the idea here is like nobody's reading this, but like, I didn't get that implication. But that just seems silly because like you're just dumping all the trash here. Put it at least do something with it. Reuse the tubes.
Dharma wasn't very forward thinking.
Yeah. Plastics. Everything is just non-reusable plastics.
Yeah. Then they see Saeed's signal fire and realize they're fucked because they're so far away, and they get captured by the others.
Yep, they just get darted and everything. And it's kind of sad because you want to see the plan work well, but, like, I knew they were going to get captured. The plot has to go, so I'm just like, sure. And Desmond actually says maybe the Pearl's the experiment, and he looks at the printout, and he finds the system failure from when he didn't press the button, and he thinks he crashed the plane.
Yeah. So, again, just confirmation that, it was the Pearl that was fake. So, now back with the A-Team. They've all been captured. They got the 4 people they wanted. As they're doing it, Kate says that she knows the beard is fake, and he's like, thank God.
Yeah. And then Ben is here, and Ben is like, where the hell is your beard? Yeah. God damn it, dude, you're supposed to keep the beard on.
That's more of a reveal
imagine that just...
the normal watchers, because it's like, oh shit, this guy was the fucking leader? Like, come on.
Yeah. And so Charlie wakes up, tries to wake up Echo, their ears are ringing. And I mean, yeah, it was really stupid of them to wait that close to the bomb. Like, you could literally just run further.
Yeah, then Desmond's like, okay, no, the Pearl is the fake one. We have to push the button. But Locke is so determined that he destroys the computer.
Yeah. God damn. He was not just testing himself. He was determined.
Yeah, so
then Desmond, he undoes the lockdown. He tries to... So he finds the Charles Dickens book. And for a second, I think, like, wait, is he, like, reading this since he's about to die? Is he that obsessed with reading it as his last book?
Well,
no, he's just getting the key.
And then, he tells Locke that everything was real, it's all real, as, the whole electromagnetism overload happens. Locke realizes that he was wrong, and then Desmond turns the key. So, here's the thing about this weird-ass flashback dream world thing. It's
Desmond's... Well, here's my thought. I think my thought was Desmond turning the key is what first made him the guy that, because he was at ground zero of that event with Magic Island stuff. That's why he's somebody who time works differently for.
Yes, that is the implication.
Like, when you told me, the rules don't apply to him, when you explained it, he can change things, this is why, this is what made him different. Which is ironic, because the whole point of this plotline is that he can't change things.
Well, it's like,
Well, it's like, so he can make it so different events happen, he's not
as
Eloise
at the exact same time, will say,
but he can't change fate.
Yeah, as Eloise will say, the universe will course correct. What I meant is, when I said he could change things, this was how, way back in the time travel thing, Daniel talked...
I remember.
To be fair, that will lead somewhere, but it won't lead somewhere really with huge consequences. It will...
Yeah, it just is
it's a thing that happens, but it's...
No, I mean, so he can change things in that his conversations about time travel during that flashback, they happened. He can have those conversations instead of being tied to the timeline perfectly.
Yeah. So, here's the weird thing. So this poor Desmond... He is reliving a thing that happened back in the 90s. And he's reliving it the moment he turns the key. But this is actually, these flashbacks, you don't see them until season 3, where he flashes back to remembering when this happened, which is a flashback to remembering when it happened in the 90s.
Wait, really?
It's very...
Wait, I thought this flashback was for this
episode. This was actually in season 3, but it happened... at that very instant.
What the fuck? Yeah. Oh my god, I thought that... I thought that, like, at this instant, I thought this was supposed to be this really experimental season finale.
They're not that experimental.
No, I thought they were doing something crazy here, like let's make it so it's just about Desmond and him getting himself back there. I thought that was so interesting. I thought that was an interesting risk. I was like thinking like, wow, I really would have liked to see what happens to Jack during this episode, but I guess this is like an interesting thing to do that no one would expect. I thought that the moment it cuts to him waking up with the paint, I thought that they were trying to bait the viewers into thinking, yeah, the island really was all someone's dream, and now he's back to reality.
That would be pretty funny, but
oh, see, now I don't respect it as much as I did.
Oh, well, to be fair, they didn't even know if Desmond was going to be a main character yet. They hadn't decided on that.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, but I have to ask: did at least this dream world thing where you can see him and Penny being together and why they broke up? Did it at least warm you to Desmond somewhat, or no? Or did this go back in the opposite direction?
I mean, I was already warmed to Desmond. I was already warmed to him just because like Hatch stuff was more interesting for him. But yeah, I'd say this is better because I feel like this, like a lot of other times, we just saw him flake, but I didn't get why he was flaking, and this showed me why, so now it has more meaning.
Yes. So, in this whole dream world thing that did kind of happen, you know, he's living with Penny in what's supposed to be like a really cheap apartment, even though it looks pretty spacious, especially for London. Like,
yeah, I was just thinking during this whole thing, wow, they're making it seem like the island really was all a dream. But yeah, so I mean, they're being cute together. He hears some beeping, and he, just stuff like her tying his tie for him, and
yeah, he says he's going to go try and get a job from her father for respect, but of course he's actually going to go ask for permission to marry her. And he hears like the hatch beeping from the microwave, and the delivery man is delivery for 8:15.
Yeah, 8:15, and he says no military experience. Now, at first I was just kind of confused as to the timeline, and maybe this is a dream that didn't happen. But then no, there's no military experience because he does that later after.
This is after the monastery, but before everything else. And so Whitmore is actually going to give him a job. Like
Yeah. He was fine with that. He mentions the solo race around the world. Yeah, he's going to give him a job. And then he's like, I want to, take your daughter's hand in marriage. And
then we get asshole Whitmore.
Whitmore is like, there's this whole speech about how this whiskey is so expensive and you are too not worth it. You're not a great man. I mean, I get that classism is a thing, but I'd at least try to get to know Desmond before making a judgment on him.
Yeah, I mean,
basically, Son's dad was better than this.
That's true. At least Son's dad did give Jin a chance.
Yeah. Son's dad was down with Jin in the long run.
Yeah, but remember, this is also the guy who ordered the gassing of an entire, colony of people, so...
That's true. He's a war criminal.
Does it count as a... Does it count as war? I don't think that counts as a war.
I don't care. I don't care.
So then he goes outside and he sees Charlie busking on the street.
Yeah. And playing Wonderwall, of course. And also just imagine giving a shit about the father's permission for marriage. If you two love each other, just get married.
Well, that's even Penny's perspective. Penny literally doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah. So then... he remembers Charlie saying, can I get some help? And he says, we were on an island. And this is England. And Charlie is like, this is why we don't do drugs, because he's going to do drugs. And he calls that the rain is about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So then he has to go talk to Donovan, who at least within Lost canon, within, how the universe works in Lost, Donovan is just less smart than Daniel.
Yeah, well, because Daniel's the smartest, So yeah, and also the song that starts playing in the bar is one of the records from the Hatch, and he's like, oh, this sports game, I remember it. This is what's gonna happen, and then it doesn't happen, which it turns out is just because he's got the wrong day.
Yeah, yeah. So then he goes to see Penny, and it's around here that I figured out, like, yeah, the surgery isn't happening during season 2. It'll be probably the start of early season 3. I mean, if they drag things out more and it's somehow later in season 3, that's whack as fuck. Just make it happen in early season 3.
You'll see.
You're not filling me with confidence.
Look, I don't want to give you false hope here. Like,
well, what this does do for us is I know what the season 3 opener is, which means once season 3 starts, we don't have to beat around the bush. We can just go to the Dharma base.
Right. So, Penny says, I don't care that you didn't get a job. You're a good man, everything. So he's like, you know what? Yeah. He's like, I'm going to go get a ring. So.
But I think it's going to get in his head that he's a good man, but not a great man.
Yes. And he goes ring shopping, and the clerk is Eloise.
Yeah, so, like, she knows things. So was this way before any Daniel stuff or confirmation that she was Daniel's mom?
This is way before any. Daniel's not even a character yet.
So they really were like, we can reuse this character and explain everything pretty well.
And so what I think...
And I started to wonder, so I think she might know some future things because she has Daniel's journal, right? So I think that fits together surprisingly well.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, yep, okay, I'm gonna get this ring. And then Eloise is like, no you're not. That's not how this goes. No, I have the script. Like...
Yeah.
So she gives him a whole thing about how, the universe has a way of course correcting, and even if you save someone's life, they'll just die some other way, which is like a Final Destination thing.
First of all, why does she take him to eat chestnuts? Second of all, did they actually film this in Britain? Because it looks like
no.
I mean, they have. I think if they didn't film it in Britain, then they put more effort into making this look like Britain than they had put into like making it look like Korea and some other stuff. Because they actually had like a realistic London Underground sign. They actually had like the red phone booths.
Well, okay, but those red phone booths aren't actually everywhere. And there's way, you can tell it's fake because there's way more of them than you would actually see. Or like how they're walking along and they just have Big Ben and the London Eye right in the background. It's like, yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, but I think that they had more capability to make it look like the place they were supposed to than they did.
Well, they did a better job than making it look like Iraq. I'll say that. So yeah, then Eloise says that pushing the button is the only great thing he will ever do.
Which, that's a little harsh because I think if you find someone you love and you spend your life together, that's a great thing.
Yeah, same. And then he sees the sign for Army and Honor and everything, and he's like, oh,
yeah, goddamn military ads.
That explains how that. Well, that's coupled with everything, Whitmore said. So then, they go get this picture and everything, and he, gets so shamed that he can't even pay for this picture. And so what I think really happened here is that originally what happened is he goes to buy the ring, realizes he can't get a good one or can't afford it, and that spirals him into, I can't be with her. Yeah. And then, like, as Eloise says, the universe has a way of course correcting. So he gets the ring, but now it's a photograph. And now he can't get the photograph for her. So that leads him to break up with her anyways.
Yeah. I mean, of all the things for, like, his self-worth, like, I think, the dad, Widmore being, like, you're not a great man and all that, like, fuck that guy. But I understand the self-worth issue from not even having a job.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
I still think
if he had just accepted Whitmore's job, he would have had one.
Yeah, like, stop worrying about, like, just don't bring that up and just take the job.
Yeah. So then, Desmond, he goes to a bar, and he's like, oh, wait, I do remember this day, and I can change things. I can fix it. And then he gets knocked back into reality.
There was a detail where he saw the really expensive whiskey, and then he's just like, I'll take the cheapest. Yeah. But then, he's like, he sees Jimmy Lennon come in, and he's like, duck, and he gets hit.
Yeah. So. And
then we get, all the stuff of the big explosion magic stuff. It looks similar to the flashes for time travel, which kind of made me think because I just saw what was kind of time travel-y for Desmond.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But anyway, most importantly, God, it does not look at all like real bright light. It just looks like a shitty digital effect.
Yeah, everyone will just refer to this going forward as when the sky turned purple. That's just...
Was it purple? It was white.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe I just wasn't looking. Alright. But yeah, Charlie's ears are still fucked, so that's bad for a musician. But we don't see Locke and Echo.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm gonna say, they didn't kill off two of the main characters off screen. That's...
See, I know that they aren't gonna kill off Locke. I wasn't sure about Echo.
He's a main character. He's under contract. They're not...
Okay, but I didn't know if he was gonna actually be an Ana Lucia kind of main character.
If he was, they would give him a death scene, you know.
Well, I didn't know if maybe I was about to get a death scene because the episode wasn't
That's
over
fair
yet.
enough. That's fair enough.
But anyway, Ben is saying he's not happy about the arrangement. Anyways, like, he's gonna let Walt go.
Yeah, because Walt was too much, which I feel is the showrunners being like, yeah, this whole kid actor thing not working out.
I just feel like they should have shown more of how Walt was too much, because they really barely did.
Yeah, so...
I mean, it's like some of what I was saying before. Walt is just this narrative loop that didn't go anywhere. He was hyped up, and then he was nothing. And then even the fact that they had to get rid of him was kind of hyped up, but it was just an excuse to get rid of him, to get the actor out. There's so much mystery, and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But,
so Ben says that they have to follow an exact bearing in order to get out of there. And, gives him a boat. And then Michael's like, well, how do you know I won't tell people and won't come back here? It's like, you're not going to find this place again. And...
Yeah, and you don't want people to know you killed people. But, yeah,
and then Michael at the end, who the hell are you people? We're the good guys. It's like...
And it also got me thinking. It's interesting because in most shows, if you did what Michael did, you would not get what you want. You would be punished for doing bad things. And sometimes bad people get away with things, but I think in the long run, you wouldn't get away with it. You would face consequences eventually. But that isn't really how this feels. Michael does bad things and he gets away with it all because the purpose of this is to get rid of Michael and Walt.
Yeah, this is also kind of why, people kind of don't like Michael. Like, he murders these people and his plan succeeds.
Yeah. So, like I loved Michael for a long time, the flashbacks, a lot of season 1 stuff. But at a certain point, it's really hard to like someone like that.
Yeah. So they decide that they're going to send Hurley back as a message.
And I was really wondering, why the hell would you tell Michael to bring Hurley if you just want him to leave? But then it makes sense. They want him to. I'm also
couldn't this have been anyone else? You'd literally just need someone with a pulse to do this. You didn't exactly have to be Hurley.
I mean, no offense to Hurley, but I think if you wanted somebody to travel back solo, you should maybe pick someone more in shape or with better wilderness skills.
Yeah, but
I think Hurley can do it, for sure. But I also feel like the others would have thought that.
Right, so they're going to take, the other three of Jack, Kate, and Sawyer, because they have some plans for them, which...
And even then, I feel like they really only need Kate.
I know what their plans are, and I understand why they're doing this.
Okay. Maybe there's...
It will add up, in a very weird way, but it will.
Well, it's just I know that the surgery will happen, but I can't assume I know everything.
Right, so... Michael and Walt, they leave, and they're just everyone is just staring daggers at this dude. Just,
yeah. Hurley never beat his ass. Ugh.
So then we have Claire and Charlie, they kiss, they're finally, together, which, it took a really weird detour with the whole Dark Charlie storyline, but we're finally here.
Yeah. Sith Lord Charlie.
And we have these people in Antarctica, or the North Pole. I forget which. I'm sure it says somewhere, but it's not really that important.
I think it's probably Antarctica. It looks more like it. It's more land on Antarctica. Easier to make a base.
Yeah, where these two scientists, they've gotten an electromagnetic pulse reading.
So, I thought it might be from, the Hanso Institute.
No. It's Penny. Because
Penny.
in the flashback for this episode, she says,
Penny,
if you have enough money and dedication, you can find anyone. So...
yeah. So, like, yeah, I think that I think the reason she knows to look for electromagnetic pulses is maybe she got some information from her dad about the island. But either way, she is using her rich person resources to track his ass down. And honestly, it was a good cliffhanger. But this explains one thing so well for me. Because when we have the Desmond and Daniel plotline where he's going back and forth, like, he needed to have somebody in, like, the present and the past to ground him, and he wanted Penny. He wanted to be able to call her and to have her in the present. I was like, I was just so confused. Like, why would you have her in the present? And I feel like that just makes way more sense knowing that Penny is coming back into the plot.
Yeah, there's a reason he chose Penny.
She is not just a flashback character. She is actually, like, she's gonna matter. I don't know if she's gonna end up on the island. Maybe, but maybe not, honestly. I don't know. But she is gonna interact with the plot.
Yes, she will. So, that is it. We have covered all the season 2 content that there is. And
yeah, shit be crazy.
It is really crazy. Season 3 is there's a lot of things I want to say about season 3. Especially given what you have said about this finale.
It's the next hump we gotta get over.
I don't want to spoil things, and...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already know it's got the season 3 flashbacks, it's got the tattoos episode, so I know season 3 is going to spin.
All those really bad ones are in the first half of the...
So, because it was while they were making season 3 that they got, like, the confirmation of 6 seasons, right? So for the rest of season 3, they could start moving forward faster?
Yes, and what happened is also in the airing and production, they aired the first 6 episodes, and then there was a 3-month break, and then they aired the other 18. So it very much does feel like season 3 part 1, season 3 part 2 in that sense.
I mean, is it just part 1 that's bad, or like does season 3 part 2 still kind of spin its wheels before it gets going?
I'd say the beginning of part 2 does, because they were still spinning their wheels as they went, and you can very much tell when they got the go ahead to write their, like, just go ahead with the plot.
Alright, well, it's just nice to know I don't have to get through all of season 3 for it to get going, just some of it.
Yeah, to be fair, they do give, like, stuff that happens in the beginning of season 3. It's just they had to have things happen in a way where it wouldn't reveal any big mysteries and it wouldn't affect the plot in any way that was too drastic. So you'll have things happen, but like there's obviously the surgery is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But where does that leave us? Because at the end of season 2, we don't know that Ben has cancer, right? So eventually, I think we find out that
we need to have. Yeah. We need to have the Juliet flashback where he tells her about that. Okay, you know what I can look forward to? Juliet. Because if they're going to the Dharma base, we're going to get some Juliet.
That is true. Juliet will be here, and she will be a major player starting in season 3.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yes. They learned their lesson from Desmond. They're not going to have the person who opens up the season just disappear.
Yeah. But, So I want to say, what I'm looking forward to next is definitely I want to see the surgery happen, but then I really want to see, I guess I want to see some interactions with Juliet. I want to see, like, Jack and Juliet talk. They're both doctors. I want to see Juliet talk to them about who they are. But what I really want to see is Saeed and Locke have a rescue mission.
Well, I think I'll be pleased with season 3.
You already your reaction last time I said Locke would do a rescue mission already gave a lot away. But I'm sure that how I'm predicting it will be.
I guarantee you're not. You couldn't understand how that's gonna go based on where we are in the plot now. Because also, let me tell you, season 3 Locke is people's least favorite Locke. Let me tell you that.
I'm sure. He's definitely going through some stuff. I mean, he's currently not faithful right now.
Yeah, no. Season 3 made me hate Locke. Let me say that. He comes back around to being my second favorite character, but I hated him in season 3.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about, like, season 2 Locke, I feel like to a lot of viewers, is a sort of villain, because all they want to see is the timer go down, and he keeps that from
Until
happening.
the very end, where we know that the timer is actually good now, and then he destroys it.
But I think once we get Locke wanting it to go down, then we have Echo there. And then he destroys it. And I think when it goes down, I mean, it's basically all revealed at this point. When it goes down, it causes an EMP, which made the plane crash. And when you take your finger out of the dam, the whole thing blows up. When Eloise Hawking, when she said that the greatest thing he would do would press that button, she was wrong, because he turns the key. That's greater.
That is true. Okay, so for everyone, you've talked about Locke. We know Saeed, Jin, and Sun. They're on that boat. They're doing boat things. The other part of the cast has been captured. Hurley's going to go be a messenger. So,
I like the start of season 3 reveal that, like, the Dharma base exists even better because it comes right after finding out that the village is fake. I think that's just, like, really well done.
Yes. Okay, so you've said all that. Now, where do you think Claire and Charlie go in season 3? I'm telling you, season 3 Charlie is the best Charlie.
Really? I mean, he's definitely gotten better. Can't believe I'm saying that. But I'd still kind of be fine with it if they, like, went nowhere.
Oh, they're not going to go nowhere.
I know, but I wouldn't mind it. I don't know if I can predict a damn thing.
Okay.
I would just expect a lot of Aaron stuff to happen, but I think there's only so much you can do with Aaron stuff.
Right. And so the last main character, if I'm remembering correctly, Mr. Echo. What do you think Mr. Echo's going to do now?
It'd be easy to say that he could just join the rescue mission, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, he definitely has some things to think about with his faith based off of what just happened. Maybe he'll finish building the church. I don't know.
Okay, well, I think that is it for this episode. So I hope you join us next time, where we will be finally diving into season 3 of this show. And it's going to be exciting. So I hope you join us next time.